Model 6Y100 screw-type presses can be used for various oil-bearing materials such as beans, groundnuts, sesame, cotton seeds, rapeseed, and coconuts, etc. It consists of 5 parts: hopper, gearbox, pressing case, pressing screw, and the machinery body. Before starting machine, check whether lubricant has been filled in all operating parts. Bevel gear and pushware should be filled 1 to 2 times per day. Gearbox should be filled about 10 kilos at its first time. Every 6 months, the lubricant should be replaced. Bearings should be filled with grease each year. Then check whether the large pulley is smooth or not. After that, rotate the adjusting bolt and tighten the screw to its end. Loosen the adjusting bolt for 3 to 4 circles, and then tighten it again for half circle, to ensure a gap between tightening nut and the residue cake outlet. Finally, tighten lock nut. After switching on the motor, check large pulley if its rotation direction is in accordance with the marked direction. If not, adjust the wear ends of the motor. Exchange any 2 ends of them. When finished the checking work, start the machine to pre-press. At the beginning, low chamber temperature, rough shaft, and overfeeding are easy to lead to a sudden stop and shaft block. Therefore, at the beginning, feeding must be steady and slow, and the shaft must be smoothened by pressing broken cake residue or oil material repeatedly. Besides, as chamber temperature reaches 80 centigrade, the cake looks like 1 to 1.5 mm thick tile, and the oil comes out normally. A lock nut can be tightened. Then put the prepared materials into hopper slowly and begin normal press. If no cake is extruded or the shaft is blocked, you can loosen lock nut and return back adjusting bolt for 1 to 2 circles to increase gap between residue cake outlet and the tightening nut. Do not adjust the cake thickness until cake comes out normally. In operation, 2 big gaps among round plates and the square rods always cause cracked residue. If gaps among round plates are too big, tighten compaction wear. If gaps among square rods are too big, remove square rods holder and retighten the rods. Improper water content sometimes also leads to cracked residue. In this case, please adjust water content of materials according to operation manual. And the cracked residue caused by worn parts after a long time use could be avoided by refreshing new parts. Meanwhile, when pressing the materials with high oil content, 2 small gaps among round plates or square rods will cause oil returning to hopper. This can be avoided by increasing gaps, adjusting cake thickness, reducing chamber pressure, lessening motor pulley diameter, or slowing down press shift speed. Another phenomenon always met during pressing is low output. It always occurs when new machines are used. All the parts of old machine are worn out, or the water content of oil material is not proper. In this case, please adjust the machine as above or change cold pressing into hot pressing. In all, truth comes from practice, and practice makes perfect, which every user could keep on accumulating more experience to operate the machine smoothly. Thus, you can reduce the unnecessary loss and let this machine make contribution to your wealth. In case the machine is to stop during pressing, you should adjust the cake to its most thickness. Repeatedly move screw forward and backward for several times, and let all materials residing in the chamber goes out. After that, you can stop the machine. Assembly disassembly of main parts. Assembly disassembly of pressing screw. Disassembly. Take off cake puller, turn pushware and return it back from the sleeve or frame. Then remove protective cap, round nuts and bearing. Pull pushware out of shaft. Then insert a bar into lock nut and hammer the bar. Take off lock nut and each part of the pressing screw can be removed. If the pressing screw can be removed, tap or hit pressing screw to burn out the slag particles between pressing screw and shaft. In this way, lock nut and each part of the pressing screw can be removed. Assembly. Erect the worm shaft. Put the big end downward. Mount the lock nut. Then mount the lock first screw and then the second, the third, the fourth to the seventh in sequence. Tighten lock nut and mount the bearing 30309, adjusting bolt bearing 51309, round nuts and square nuts. Keep 1 to 2 mm gap between round nuts and the bearing to ensure a hand can swing adjusting bolts smoothly. Assembly and disassembly of pressing case. Disassembly. Remove 4 pieces M16 coupling bolts at the 2 ends of upper case and 10 pieces M14 on the surface of case, and remove upper pressing case. Rotate clamp nut and loosen it. Remove upper pressing case to take off round plates and square rods holder. Remove square rods. Keep square rods holder horizontal. Tap the end of one rod and take it out, and the others will drop automatically. When assembling rods, erect the rod holder and make its side with oil grooves downwards. Then pull square rods neatly to touch holder's inner wall circumferentially with the end of grooves downwards. Please note that grooves of every 2 rods must not touch. Finally, insert shims by hammer properly into rod's gap. If rods are still too loose, add a thin end tape to the head of the hammered rod to adjust the rod's gap. Let the rods firmly touch the holder's inner wall smoothly. Then install rod's holder on the pressing case. The side with oil grooves should face to the end with the cake outlet. Then mount the 33 mm thick number 1 round plate. The side with oil grooves should face to the end with cake outlet. Mount the 20 mm thick number 2 to number 8 round plates. Hold the chamfers on one side of the inner hole. The 20 mm thick number 9 round plate. Hold the chamfers on both sides of the inner hole. The 60 mm thick number 10 round plate. The number 1, number 11 round plate. Hold the chamfers on one side of the inner hole. The number 12 to number 16 round plate, whose sizes and shapes are like those of number 2 to number 8 round plates. Finally, mount the number 17 round plate, whose size and shape are like those of number 9 round plate. Points for attention. Grooves of all rods should not be touched. Then mount lock nut and don't tighten too many circles. Mount the upper pressing case and tighten 10 pieces M14 bolts and 4 pieces M16 bolts to finish installation.